Agriculture. A lot of people really equate agriculture to strictly food production. In reality, everything we have, everything I'm sitting on, I got on my body, everything I use every day, actually comes from the land in some form. At one time it came from the land. And we got to be careful what we do with that land.
Ottawa County farmland is so valuable to our way of life. We do cattle, we do hogs, chicken, turkey, vegetables, evergreens, apples, all sorts of different things.
Growing up here all my life, I lived on a family farm. I extremely enjoying the wide open spaces. Through the summer, I've always looked forward to the first field that's broken ground, the first crops that come up, the cutting of the hay, the harvesting of the wheat, and then the chopping of corn and the picking of the corn. And those are things that just I look for and enjoy.
Speaking for Ottawa Food members and for the theory behind Ottawa Food in general, I can say that farmland, and by extension the stewards that farm the land, we see them as active participants in the work that we do to address hunger and health in Ottawa County.
Ottawa County farmland is the local grocery store, if you allow it to be.
Well, there's something to say about being homegrown. In a small rural community like ours, I think it means a lot to people who have homegrown.
The variety that we're able to offer just from local farmers and vendors is actually, it's incredible. People always come and are amazed by the abundance of options that's actually here.
Farmland isn't just a good place to keep land until you find a better use for it.
Spend any time in Ottawa County and you might just pass a farm or two. Whether or not you've personally set foot on a local farm, there's no denying farming is a cornerstone of our economy and cultural heritage. But our farmland is shrinking. According to the most recent Ag Census, Ottawa County has lost 17% of its farms and 8% of its farmed acreage.
When we lose farmland, we lose it for forever. And so when we lose it, it gets built up and it gets tarred over. So then we wonder, well, why do we have flooding issues? Because the water can't go down into the aquifer and recharge its system. So farming has the ability to put back the nutrients and put back what God gave us.
When we lose farmland, we probably wouldn't have the local farmers market, so that stuff would be gone. Then I don't know if we'd even know where the product comes from, or the vegetables and fruit.
When we lose farmland, we lose access to having these animals grazing, where you can come out and see them in the countryside. Farmland is important because that's where we grow our good food. We lose good food locally, and now what are we going to have?
Things have changed so much just in my 30-some years of adulthood that places that were open and wild, it's getting paved over at an alarming rate. Some very, very good farmland.
If you take 100 acres and put a couple houses in the middle of it, it breaks it up so that big equipment, larger efficient equipment can't operate in it, and that just destroys the efficiency of that farm.
Without farmers, we would be purchasing everything from, a faraway distributor and getting, not only not as great product, but also it changes the landscape of our community.
We lose the economy that went with it. We lose family farming as we know it now.
Well, I think in the long term, when we lose farmland, we're losing access to locally grown, locally sourced, high quality products and the variety that we can get. And its simplest form, the more we lose it, the less we have access to those things.
When you cut down on the amount of product that's being produced in a given area, you also make it inefficient for processing facilities to operate in that given area. So you slowly make it so that farmers can't make a living farming, and it doesn't work long term.
Ottawa County seeks to protect its vibrant agricultural industry and slow the loss of farms and farmland through its Farmland Preservation Program. Funded through a combination of private donations and state and federal grants, this program enables farmers to sell the rights to develop their land to Ottawa County, thereby creating a permanent agricultural easement that preserves the land for farming in perpetuity.
Why do I support the Farmland Preservation Program? Well, it's a tool in the toolbox that we can use to preserve land through perpetuity, forever. And what's so unique about it is if a particular farmer has this passion and he wants to pass it on to his children, or he wants it to pass it on to another farmer and be able to make sure that that land like this is preserved forever.
Farmland preservation to a farmer means keeping farms available to the next generation to raise good food for future generations that's grown locally, that's produced with good health in mind, and keeping track of what's going on in the environment, giving a place for urban people to see where their food comes from instead of just think it comes from a grocery store.
I think it's a wonderful program because it allows farmers to continue farming without the stress of development pushing down their throats and the pressure to do this or do that, and they can concentrate on what they do best, and that is farm.
It's not for everybody, but those farmers that feel real connected to the land and want to move it out for years and years and years to come, it will never change.
Ottawa Food really strongly supports farmland preservation because we know just how seriously we need our farmers in order to be successful in the work that we're doing. We need our farmers to continue to produce healthy fruits and vegetables, and we'll come alongside and make sure that everybody has access to those fruits and vegetables.
That's why farmland preservation is so important to us. It really is the basis. Local farms make the basis of our vendor group, and if those go away or are restricted, we would really have to change the entire makeup of our market.
To date, the Ottawa County Farmland Preservation Program has protected 5 family farms totaling 443 acres. Another 123 acres of Shadyside Farm in Olive Township will be joining the ranks by the end of 2022. The program continues to gain traction. In 2022 alone, the Agriculture Preservation Board received applications seeking to protect more than 1,350 acres of farmland. However, funding constraints have meant that on average, only about 80 acres have been preserved per year. But with the community's support, we hope to change that.
We've got probably about 50 to 60% of our townships have gotten on board and done resolutions to be able to preserve the land. And we're making some good progress, but we do need help. We need help, donations, support, getting the word of mouth out there.
Farmland preservation, it is forever. I mean, this will always be the Hale Farm. It's worked pretty good for the last 100, almost 150 years. So I see what the heck, what's wrong with the next 150 years.